with Miss B friends. Welcome back to another story. My name is Miss B and I am the creator of this YouTube channel. I am so very grateful that you have joined me today for another read aloud. If you haven't already done so, get an adult in your house to subscribe below so you can get more Books with Miss B stories every single week. Also, visit my Instagram page at Books with Miss B. You can follow along for more book love and let me know what you're reading. I love to learn all about those books that are your favorites, and I like to add them to my own home library. So, before we get started, today's story is being read to you with permission from the author and publisher themselves. I appreciate you very much. And one more thing before we read our book together today. If you didn't know this, I'm gonna tell you, you are, without a doubt in my mind, absolutely perfect. True story. So please don't try to be anybody else. Just be you. Got it? Good. Miss B loves you like crazy from the bottom of my heart. Okay, so today's story really quickly is about being different. And sometimes people like to tease because of our differences. But I want you to know that being different is actually incredibly special, amazing, and you should love all of those differences. And in today's story, we're gonna meet a couple of friends who get picked on or don't get played with on the playground or at the park because certain other friends think they're different. And that's not okay. But the ending is magical and I think you're gonna love it. So let's get started. Today's story is called by the new incredible author, R.D. Clarkson, and illustrated by Olga Vinter, You Can't Play With Us. The Adventures of Bam and Jam. These are two special puppy dogs, and the author actually has this type of breed or dog. They are called Alaskan Malamutes. It's a big word, isn't it? But they are the coolest dogs, the most beautiful, interesting looking, fluffy dogs you'll ever meet. I actually had a Husky and a Samoyed growing up. So my family we always adopted doggies very similar to the Malamute. You can't play with us. For my family, for Blue and Maya, my Alaskan Malamutes, without whom there would be no story. Bam was just waking from his nap. He could hear Jam playing. Oh, I wonder what is going on, he thought. So up he got. He stretched and let out a big yawn. Oh. Now he was ready to see what all the fuss was about. Mom and Dad were holding a collar and lead each. Bam and Jam knew exactly what that meant. Wookiees, Mom shouted. Their paws began to dance and they barked impatiently. Bam and Jam wiggled with excitement. If you have a dog at home, does your doggie get excited when it's time to go for a walk? I know my dog, when we say it's time to go out or it's time to go for a walk, she does this little thing with her head. Tilts her head. Like she's listening. She knows what it means. Once they had their collars and leads on, they pulled Mom and Dad out to the car. Bam and Jam spent the whole journey to the park with their noses pressed against the window, eager to get out and play. When they arrived, they jumped out of the car as soon as the boot was open. They sat on the grass and waited to be unclipped from their leads. So sometimes they're called leads, but we also can call them a leash, right? Then off they went, chasing one another and barking happily. Catch me if you can. Get back here. Under the watchful eyes of Mom and Dad, Bam and Jam played for a few more minutes until they spotted something across the park. More dogs! Before they ran over, they looked at Mom and Dad with their big brown eyes. Can we play, please, please, please? They asked. Go and see, Mom and Dad said. The other dogs were all playing together, chasing each other, wrestling and fetching sticks. But as soon as Bam and Jam arrived, they stopped and stared at them. The other dogs didn't look happy. What do you think the other dogs are thinking? Why are they not happy? I think you might be right. A small ginger dog with wiry curls barked at Bam. "You can't play with us. You're too big." "And I don't like your ears," growled a big, skinny, gray dog to Jam. That's not very nice. Jam hid behind Bam. Bam wiggled his bum and howled excitedly. "Arr! Arr! We only want to play." "Go play somewhere else. We don't like dogs like you," snapped a different dog with brown patches and long, floppy ears. I feel bad for them. Bam's tail stopped wagging and he stood up straight. "Fine," he barked back at them loudly. The other owners all rushed over to collect their dogs when they heard Bam's bark. They even shouted at Mom and Dad too. So a Malamute's bark, it sounds really loud and like a kind of a deep, loud bark. And so they're getting a little bit what? The other people, the dogs, and the other owners. Yeah, they're a little frightened, right? And sometimes when you're frightened, sometimes you say things that you might not mean, or you act a certain way just because you're reacting, right? So they're like, "Whoa, those dogs' barks are scary. We gotta get out of here." Jam sat on Dad's feet and leant against him. "It's okay, don't be sad," Dad said. "Some dogs aren't taught that even though we're all different, we can still be friends." Bam squeezed between Mom's legs like he used to when he was a puppy. "It's not your fault," Mom said. Bam and Jam walked slowly back towards the car. They wanted to go home now. Their tails weren't wagging anymore. Everyone was sad. They had only wanted to play. They saw another group of dogs playing and chasing each other, but Bam and Jam just kept walking. They probably wouldn't want to play either, they thought. They're thinking that, right? Because it just happened, and so why would anybody want to play with them if other doggies reacted that way, huh? All of a sudden, a tiny dog raced in front of them. She stopped and dropped the ball. "Wow! Look how big you are!" But Bam and Jam were still sad, so they just kept walking. The tiny dog barked, "Woof, woof, woof," and wagged her tail. Then a second dog ran over to them. He had silky black fur and a friendly face. "Your fur is so soft, it's like a cloud." Bam and Jam looked at each other confused. They weren't used to other dogs being so nice to them. Those are some kind puppy dogs. A third dog came running over. It skidded to a halt right in front of them. Hey, your ears are just like mine. You're fluffy like me too." The third dog was smaller than Bam and Jam, but bigger than the other two. She wagged her tail and wiggled her bum in the air, wanting to play. How are Bam and Jam feeling now? The tiny dog rolled the ball to Bam. All three of the new dogs danced excitedly. "You really want to play with us?" Jam asked. "Yes!" Bam's tail began to wag. He crouched down low, scooped up the ball in his mouth, and zoom, off he went. Jam howled playfully. Can you do your best dog howl? Go for it. That was a good one. The dogs chased each other and rolled around on the grass in a big mess of tails, legs, and fluff. Bam and Jam were so happy. Look at them all rolling around. Mom and Dad were happy too. They always knew that Bam and Jam would make friends that like them just the way they are. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story. Remember, show kindness. Not everyone's gonna look like you or be like you or act like you, but it's important that we accept everybody. And your true friends are the ones that like you just the way you are. Got it? Good. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you don't already have this, please visit the link below in the video description so you can scoop up R.D. Clarkson's new book, Can't Play With Us, and add it to your home library. I love you all like crazy. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for joining me. Bye. Mwah. Hi, my Books with Miss B friends. I have something very important I want you all to know.
Please always remember this.
Remember that it is always
very, very important to love who you are.
and don't try to be anybody else
But who you are. Because, in case you didn't know, I'm going to tell you.
you are without a doubt in my mind